Right, g'day everyone. So in this video, we are going to run through our build out in our Troopy. We've been living out of it for a few days now. We're on a massive trip, and first impressions are that it is amazing. We are just loving living out of it, and I genuinely think it's probably the best Troopy build out I've ever seen. Obviously I'm a bit biased, but once I show you through, I think you might agree. So this was done by Project Overlander in Sydney. They're in Western Sydney. Now, they did everything on this car, bar the roof conversion. They did literally everything, all the accessory fitment, the GVM upgrade, the brakes, install the water tank, long range tank, everything, rear bar, front bar, winch. So they really are a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to build a touring vehicle, but they are getting right into their build outs now, and they are producing some phenomenal work and accessories as well that I really want to show you. So let's get stuck into it. So Holly and I had a Troopy previously. We still got Elsie obviously in the shed, but we really sort of knew what we actually wanted from a build out in a Troopy. We wanted a lot of our things accessible right from the rear without getting into the car. I've seen quite a few Troopy conversions where you actually have to get in to access stuff. We didn't want that. We wanted drawers that could slide out. We wanted the fridge at the back. So that was really important to us. And that was one of the stipulations that we wanted when we were building this. And Steve was on the same wavelength as us, which is fantastic. Another thing is you look at it, it's relatively simple looking. It's not heaps of nooks and crannies. And I think in some Troopy conversions, there's nooks and crannies for nooks and crannies' sake, and it actually just makes your storage options even less. You sort of got to cram things in, and these have got a couple of big storage areas, which I'll run you through soon, but it looks simple, but there's nothing simple about it. It is really fantastic workmanship that is really going to stand the test of time. All right, so it is made out of aluminium, and it's on marine ply covered in vinyl, which is the base, which is bolted to the car. Build out is bolted to the base. As I said, it is aluminium, it is powder coated. We've gone for a black and a sandy theme, which sort of just matches the rest of the car. So super strong material. And Steve assures me that it isn't much heavier, or isn't really any heavier than if you're using timber for the same kind of storage. But obviously you're getting all the advantages of alley. It is just harder to work with when it's being built. But they've done a fantastic job, and I'll run through it now. All right, as I said, we wanted our storage right at the back here. So I'll run you through our drawers. So our biggest drawer is just here. So as you can see, that is a massive drawer. It's really deep. We've got our cooker, our induction plate, knives, forks, and heaps of consumables in there. We've got our pots and pans. This here is a chopping board that's Project Overlander includes. As you can see, it slides along, but it's completely removable, so we can take it out. We can put it on our side table that we've got around there. Only problem for us is it's so pretty looking, we don't really want to chop anything on it, so we're using our little plastic one, and we're just using this as a table. So as you can see there, it's a huge drawer. You can really just fit so much stuff in it. We've got majority of our pantry items and cooking gear in here. Next to it, we have another drawer. It's got socks and jocks in it, and some of our clothes. As you can see, another really big drawer, so a large portion of our clothes is in here. So again, really nice and accessible. We're getting this stuff out all the time. So that's fantastic. We've got this little nook here where I've got tools. That's just an open face, but it's just nice and accessible. I can just grab those out when I need them. Another cool little thing is Steve has used the original brackets for the jack winder and everything, and it's just bolted on the inside there. So all that is still accessible if I need to change a tire or anything like that. Now over this side here, we've got two 240 volt panel, plugs, and we've got our water tank tester. So water's full at the moment. So we've got a 90 litre water tank from Long Range Automotive underneath. That's all plumbed up, which was done at Project Overlander, and I'll show you all our water options that we've got. It's really, really cool. So up here, I have a Red Vision screen. I'll go through the 12 volt more in depth, which is at the front in a minute, but I just want to show you this screen quickly. So as you can see, we actually have our hot water on at the moment, but this controls everything at the back here. It's on a ram mount, so it can be swiveled around if we're on the inside. We can swivel that screen around, turn things on as we need it, so we can whack our inverter on, or we can get our water pump on. So now the water pump is on, and that will allow us to have pressured water, which I'll show you how we get water out of the vehicle now. All right, so we've got our Outback Gear Solutions bags here. Great little extra storage. We've been using these a lot. We've got heaps of stuff in them that we're accessing all the time. So I'll just show you the way we do our water. So we've got our tap here. So we pull that out. And we've got a utility panel here. So this utility panel is made at Project Overlander. Really nice unit. As you can see, it's off the Toyota key. Folds up, so it's all recessed. Now, some utility panels, they're actually proud of the car, and the surfaces are all exposed, which just doesn't look fantastic, I think. So as you can see in here, we've got plenty of options. We've got our water out, our water in, air out, solar in, and power out. So great options there. Now, to get my water, I just plug them in, and then pump is on, and I've got water right there. The beauty of that is it is right next to our main cooking area. So I'll run you through that now. Now, this side table has been done at Project Overlander as well. This is their prototype. There's a few small changes, but this is pretty much the finished unit. Now, you can get powder coated options, so you can go sandy, blue, white, black, whatever you want. But obviously, it's a bit different to others that are on the market, because you've got this nice flat edge here. So it's not sharp edges, not exposed edges, and you're also not having the lugs exposed in the Mattress. So that's really nice. If you're walking past, you're not going to hit yourself on it. I'll just open this. Actually, before I put it down, I actually just want to run through how the Mattress are actually accessed. So obviously, if we're on the tracks, we wouldn't have this padlock on. It's just that there's $1,000 worth of Mattress here. So I just want to make sure they're protected. If we're on the tracks, we'd take that off. All right, so that's undone now. It's just a toggle latch, and they just fold out. So this is a prototype, as I said. I think the other ones are a little bit easier to grab out. He's just modified the hinge slightly, but as I said, it's the same concept. There's no pins, so you're not fiddling around with 4 pins trying to get them all on. They're all bent up from getting recovered and all that kind of thing. They're super accessible. I can just pull those out really quickly from on the tracks, which I think is a really neat design. So just like your standard table, folds down. We've got this huge surface here to cook on, to prep food, really to do anything. So for lunch today, we had our pies. We just put the plate on here. We cut up some oranges, and it's just so quick and easy to fold down that it's not an issue. And we don't have a table in our car now. So it's one less thing to pack in the car, is having a big table. So we've got the Thorburns Gull Wing window here. Again, that was done at Project Overlander. Now, Project Overlander has these fantastic little strip lights here. They're nice, really, really nice units. They're not plasticky. They're aluminium, which is fantastic, great quality. Turn on, we've got white light, we've got orange light, and they're dimmable. So if you hold the button down, it will go either dimmer or brighter, depending which one. So it's just gone dimmer, and now it's gone brighter, which is fantastic. So this whole area here for us has just changed the way we sort of cook. We've got an induction plate, and we've got a gas cooker. We can put that there. We can run the power through to the 240 volt plug, or we can have our gas bottle down here. What I absolutely love is having this water right next to the cooking area, so you can just grab your pot, you can fill it up with water. If you need to wash anything, it's just fantastic. That whole setup here is so nicely done, and it's just so practical. So using that over the past couple of days has just been an absolute pleasure. We've just been loving it. We'll go around back to the back here. So we've got more of these strip lights on the door, nice and simple. Okay, in the back here, oh, actually, before I do that, I just want to show you. Now we've got a bit more. This is all just easy to lift up like that. So we've got heaps of stuff in here. We've got a bit of food and just random stuff. We've got our recovery gear. That's all under there. So again, nice big storage area, which is stuff that we don't need all the time, but it is accessible. Now, as you can see here, upright fridge. We've gone with the Bushman 85 litre upright. Adrian has been running one in his 79 for a couple of years now. So we wanted to give this one a go because he really rated it. Again, It's going back to that concept. We wanted everything accessible at the back. Having this fridge here like this. Now, it doesn't open up the whole way, but you're honestly not missing out on any access to the fridge at all. You can still get big stuff in there, no worries. You're not missing out on anything. Having that slight foul on the door there, but it's absolutely fine. As I said, we wanted everything accessible. I've seen people and they put their chest freezers or fridges right up the front or at a gull wing and lifting it up and getting stuff out. It's hard. We've done it before. We had a chest fridge in our old Troopy and I was forever just trying to get stuff out. Whatever we wanted was on the bottom and it was just a bit frustrating. So having this right at the back, they've done a great job at Project Overlander in actually fitting this in, but still getting us heaps of room in this hallway for our feet. So I think there's over 400 mil, I think it's 410 mil or something space here, which means when we get in the back of the Troopy, my feet fit. They're going to be dust in, but plenty of room. So it's just comfortable. I'm not feeling squashed in. I'm not feeling like I'm being cramped with the conversion. Holly and I can both sit in here. We both fit. And we've got plenty of workbench here to do stuff on the computer. One great little addition is another workbench that slides out, which makes a far more comfortable seating position for getting on the laptop, which obviously Holly and I do a fair bit with editing weddings and editing travel videos. So that is absolutely fantastic. Slide that back in. Now we've got more storage here. Some of it is taken up by our water heater, which is currently heating up right now because we will have a shower. But there's plenty of storage under there as well. So you've got two big shelves. On top, we have the travel buddy and it fits nicely just with the roof closed. We've got two 240 volt outlets and we've got our USB points here, which is great for charging stuff. Now, oh geez, I've really got a lot of dirt in the car. Whoops. Now in here, Steve has managed to cram in a chemical toilet, which is pretty crazy that he was able to fit it in and still have enough storage for everything else. So it just means that we can go to anywhere that you need to be self-contained. It's a requirement for a lot of places now. If you really want to go to those interesting places, you know, station stays and all that, a lot of them require you to be fully self-contained, which we are now with that toilet, which is fantastic. And then over here, we just put our camera bag on top. That's nice and accessible. We've got our Starlink there, our laptops, which we're fine to have all loose. And then here, we've got more clothes storage. So tons of storage in there. And that's like a huge cavity. We've got tons of stuff in there. Now, under my seat where I'm sitting now is a 5 litre TJM Pro Series air tank, which is in there. Again, that air service is all linked up to the utility panel and the compressor itself is just behind Holly's seat. There's still plenty of room in between Holly's seat and the compressor, so it's not going to overheat or anything like that. So we might move around to the other side, which is the shower side and 12 volt, and I'll give you a look at that. Sorry, before we run into that, we've got 2 drawers here. Again, they're absolutely huge. So we've got camera gear, this is foam inserts. We've got all our gear in here that we would need for a wedding. So that's fantastic that we actually have a spot for that now because we didn't in Elsie. And then we've got a drawer just as big for all food and everything under there. So we have managed to fit everything into this build out. And then when we're driving, nothing's in the hallway. So we can get in even at lunch with the roof down. It is a bit cramped, but you can get in, like Holly got the pies. You can still grab stuff out of the drawers if you need it. I went and got a photo of an emu that was drinking water out of a service station washer bucket. So I just grabbed my photo camera out of this drawer, left the roof down. So it's still all accessible. Everything's got a home, which was another big stipulation for Holly and I. We really wanted everything to have a home and not be stacking stuff in the hallway, which is something that we did in Elsie. So yeah, fantastic. Tons of room in here with the roof conversion. Yeah, absolutely love this living area. All right, coming around here, we've got our shower side. So we've got the Destination 4-wheel drive shower awning. That thing is absolutely huge. We will run through the whole build in its entirety in a future video where we'll show this more in depth, but I'm sure you'll see it in travel videos soon. It is absolutely massive. You could easily fit 2 people in it if you needed. But again, we've got another going window here from Thorburns on this side. On gas struts, comes up. Okay, so we have our toiletries. This is our sort of shower section. We've got another light here, same as before. I've just got my toiletry bag velcroed there. You don't need too much space here for your toiletries. We've just got hand sanitizer, bit of shampoo, all our toothbrushes and everything like that. Now, this is our shower outlet. So essentially, the shower head plugs into that and that suction cups onto there. So we have our shower head sitting here. We can have a shower, and that kettle in there, which is heating up right now, because we are about to have a shower after we film this, that heats up to, I think, about 70 degrees, has 8 litres of water in it, I believe. Might be 6, might be 8, I'll have to check that. But what it does is it mixes with the main tank, the 90 litre main tank. So from that 70 degree, 6 litres of water, you're gonna get a pretty good shower for 2 people. The only problem is we probably have to watch how much water we actually use. But yeah, pretty much you just twist the nozzle and it will just adjust to the temperature to how much you want it. So that's fantastic to have this shower. It's been done in Troopies before, but I just really wanted the electric hot water because we've had gas before and they're just a bit fiddly, and just having, you know, just another thing to worry about. We've got the lithium batteries and everything, so we can have the option of electric hot water. So we've done it, we love it, it's fantastic. Okay, speaking of 12 volt, we might as well run into that. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna get the camera in here because it's a bit tight to film, but our 12 volt is just behind my front seat. Now, it's all Red Arc gear. They did this at Project Overland and they've done an incredible job just with wiring it up and making sure all the rub points have friction tape and conduit and everything you need to make sure it's protected for corrugated roads. As you can see, the wiring's super, super neat. We've got the Manager 30 with the Red Arc lithium batteries. We've got the Hydro red top batteries, which are behind that panel with a 2000 watt inverter, which has been running our induction. It's been running our hot water, our travel buddy, which is fantastic. It's all plugged into the Red Arc TVMS Rogue, which replaces the traditional TVMS, which is probably more suited for larger applications like caravans, which need a lot of inputs. This is more suited to our application. It's a small slimline unit. It's still fantastic. It's still made in Australia. It's still Red Arc gear. And then it all plugs into that, and we can control it on our head unit through the Red Arc app in the front and at our Red Vision screen in the back. So it's just great having those when you're driving. You can turn the hot water on. You can do everything you need at the back. So Project Overland has just done a really good job wiring that up. It is super neat, super safe, and it's not over the top. We've got all the points that we need. And yeah, we've been finding it's been fantastic having such a good 12 volt system. So also we've just got this little 75mm mattress here. It's got a faux leather on it, which is sort of like a beige, sandy kind of color. That's great because you can wipe it down if it gets dirty. We sort of wanted that over the canvasy, cloth, cottony kind of thing that we had in Elsie before, because that got really dirty. So yeah, as you can see, the fit and finish of this whole build out is honestly, it's second to none. It's absolutely beautiful, even down to sort of the bolts, nuts and bolts in the alley. There is no exposed nuts and bolts in the alley, so you're not going to be knocking your ankles on those. It's just super clean, super neat, and I think it looks fantastic. It looks classy, and it doesn't look homemade. It looks like a premium job, which it is. So if you are looking at getting a Troopy fit out done, or if you're looking at anything like this side table, definitely get onto the fellas at Project Overlander in Sydney. They're in Western Sydney. They do absolutely beautiful work. Steve, he's very knowledgeable, and he is a avid four-wheel driver and tourer. So he really lives and breathes this stuff, and he really knows what people need when they're out in the tracks. So we're absolutely loving living in at the moment. We can't wait to show you more of our travel videos living out of this whole setup. It's been an absolute pleasure so far, and we're just really excited now. We've got a new lease of life in traveling and filming with this kind of setup. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.